I've been thinking about the phrase, chasing your dream. I came to LA to chase my dreams. If you go deeper and analyze that saying, what you're really saying is that you're chasing something away. If I grab a bat and I start chasing you down the street, by default, you start running away from me. So I chase, you run away. Chase your dreams, they go away. We gotta stop chasing dreams and attract them. How do you do that? Create. Starts creating is the most powerful tool we have. You start operating from that authority and feeling that you're already there. Attract, create, and things will start coming instead of being chased away.
Welcome to Breaking and Entering, a show where I talk to industry professionals about their career and their journey. I'm your host, Trymaine, and today I have a very special guest. He's an Emmy-nominated cinematographer and director, Luciano Blotta. How you doing today, man? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you coming in here and sharing these gems. So let's jump right into it. So what made you pursue cinematography?
It was an easy decision for me because I come from a family of artists in Argentina. My grandfather was the first person in the country in the 1940s to create an animated movie for cinema release. And he used to work in the biggest company doing this kind of Walt Disney kind of stuff. And then my dad was also a visual artist, a cartoonist. He was really famous with this magazine that he created that revolutionized the media in the country, inspired the future generations with a new style of humor and political cartoons. Then my mother was a big influence for me as well. She's a writer, very successful, best-selling author in Argentina. And from the beginning, I tried to emulate that. And I had a knack for writing, so I would compete in school contests and stuff like that. So that's how I actually came into the arts, by writing the way I saw my mother do it. And it wasn't until I picked up a camera that things changed for me in the visual direction. I remember the exact day I started filming. I think my mom was sunbathing in the garden. I started filming her, but I would put the tree leaves in front of it, and it just exploded inside of me. My dad also taught me how to make a storyboard, because again, a visual artist, he would do cartoons, he would do comic strips. He's like, oh, Dylan, this is how you make a movie. You start with a storyboard where you lay out your frames and what you want to see in them. But with the artistry of it and the passion around how to make it started growing inside of me, where watching the film wasn't enough for me. I needed to know more. I needed to go one step ahead. There was no internet. There was no access to information the way there is now. So just getting a hold of a magazine, like a movie magazine, anything with information, you would see one picture, it would be like a treasure.
You were learning from pictures in magazines.
That's the only way you can see it.
That's crazy.
Unless you're here on a set,
right.
You know? But if you're a kid growing up in South America and you're lucky enough to get a copy of the magazine, you treasure that.
It was gold, yeah.
It's gold, yeah. I read a quote that blew my mind one time that says, all it takes is ignorance and confidence, and success is guaranteed. Every little piece is a piece of the puzzle. You know? And everybody has their own story, their own combination of clues and steps that take them to where they want to go. There's really no recipe.
Right.
Besides hard work. It's not as glamorous as most of the world thinks. I get a kick out of when I travel, go to different countries, and I say I live in Hollywood. Just saying the word Hollywood, people see what TV wants to sell them, right? The reality of it is, especially if you work in a big movie, or any set for that matter, it's dirty, long hours, back-breaking, sacrifices, numerous things, right? So it reminds me, one time back in film school, we were prepping to go do our student film with some film school buddies, and we were getting all the equipment out on the street, on the sidewalk near the film school. Cameras, lights, packs of things, everything's heavy and everything's big. And this funny teacher that we had just walks by. He's like, oh, the glamour of filmmaking. Great, it keeps on walking. And we were like, holy shit. We know what he means because we sweating. And that stuck with us. We still kind of remember that and laugh about it, because That's the whole aspect that people don't see. The glamour, like, it's only at the premiere. If you make it there, what about all the steps to get there? Where's the glamour? Anyway, but that's why we love it.
What values do you think are being lost?
There is a sense right now I get that you don't need to learn anything. You already have the tools, the access to all the information, which is partly true. But we're losing the most valuable thing, which is experience from somebody else, that you can have direct contact. I mean, you can go on YouTube and learn from somebody who's 2 years older than you was talking about it. With the system the way it was before, it would take a long time to make progress and to get places, again, because there were no DSLR cameras, there was no YouTube. All you could do is get a film camera from some other film shoot that you're working on and beg, borrow, steal whatever you can from the camera truck on the weekend and go with your friends. So that instantly, by default, forces you to have an attitude of respect, of being obsessive about it, of being precious about it, and being the best you can be. I was working with Spielberg, Ron Howard, John Woo, all these high-end movies, like getting my mind blown with the education of that. So what I did is, any minute I had for myself, I would start sketching whatever was going on set with the lights, with the camera, with anything I heard the director say that felt like a lesson, and I started creating this encyclopedia of stuff that I learned on these movies. I would just find a moment and go up to the guy and say, "Excuse me, sir," with like this, respect and like, I just, real quick, I wanted to know why is that light there as opposed to some question about something, and they were so generous and happy to do that, right? And they would, "Oh, well, that's because thank you very much." And I start writing the whole thing. But I would advise anyone, if you have somebody you're exposed to somebody who's been out there for a while, just absorb and try to learn everything you can. At the same time, do your own learning and your own investigation, because also it's good to be a rebel and try to do it your own way.
I find it that a lot of people are fearful of failure. What do you think about that?
I've come to learn that there is no failure. That's just such a wrong word. Doesn't mean anything. To me, there's no failure, there's only feedback. Something doesn't work out, what can I learn from this? Make it different next time. And I didn't fail, I actually gained something. How valuable is the truth? The truth is the best thing that you have for making a good life. I mean, look, the industry is just one aspect of your life. What about life, man? Right. You gotta live, you gotta enjoy, you gotta love, you have to give. You have to inspire. It's about having a good life. If you're gonna stress out and fall, another mistake I did is I don't feel like I enjoyed everything that happened to me as much as I could have. I always kept like demanding more out of myself, and every part of the journey is just as valuable and beautiful as whatever destination you have in mind. We have so much noise in our head coming from other sources that were inherited. You didn't come up with these voices, they were given to you. But growing up, your parents, your environment, could be anything. So you have to pay attention to where life wants to take you. That is the most important thing and the hardest one to embrace, because you have such rigid ideas, but there's a sweet balance when you let go a little bit and you start accepting something that wasn't really your plan, but seems to be flowing the right way. So we have to be ready to get rid of the life we plan to accept the life that's waiting for us. Once you're ready, you have to be ready to burn the bridge, which is usually don't burn bridges, right? Which we understand, we know what it means, and yes, it's true. I mean burn the bridges in a different way. What it does, it forces you to sharpen your vision and what you want, and it starts, any opportunity that starts coming your way comes in that area that you want. Yeah, self-awareness is big. I think optimizing your entire experience beyond the movie business, the better version of yourself is what you need to look for. I think, and that's going to benefit you in all areas because you start getting clarity, refine your vision, and you will be entering into an unknown, which is what you want to become. Like you're not there yet. So how do you know where you're going? So you start making the best version out of yourself today, right now. And that's in all areas of life. And that's how you start going into the direction of well prepared into the direction of your dreams, I think. That's the real breaking and entering into the unknown of who you really are and what you want to become and why. Mm-hmm. The why is so important.
So let me ask you, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Try to give your dreams some clarity and picture them in Technicolor with how you're going to be in all areas of life. Because in my case, I didn't look at that. I just saw my dream filmmaking, but I didn't picture everything else around it. And that to me is more important today than the filmmaking dream, because this is about having a good life, not a good career. If you're gonna have a career and then your life is a disaster, well, what's the point of that? Mm-hmm. So clarity in defining your vision for your life, including your career, is what I would say.